Welcome my friends, this is Maniacal Incorporated. I've just been editing one of the previous videos, episode 41 I think, where at the end of which Cuilén usurped the Kingdom of England, and it was just this massive sheet of green over the British and Irish Isles. So you can't imagine how shocked I was when I loaded the game and remembered, oh yeah, that's just a distant memory at this stage. I've highlighted Cuilén because in the last episode he was planning an attempt on the life of the High King, and we managed to stop him. Well, we didn't manage to stop him, but our spymaster discovered his plot and we had him arrested, and we stripped him of the Duchy of Lothian. Now the first thing is we're going to decide what to actually do with him. I was planning on just releasing him. I think he's one of only there's 5 living members. Oh yeah, he has a couple of siblings. He's one of only a handful of people of House Grian Grafadorachta, which was created as well on the last episode, if I'm correct, or maybe the one beforehand. His brother rules England. I think he's actually in line to inherit England if his brother dies, because neither of the two of them have any children at the moment. So I was planning on just letting him go, and then I realized that he is quite proficient with a sword. So, let's see if we can recruit him, put him in the army, and if he can earn back our trust. And we might give him some land, especially if his brother has some children, because I don't know if he's made some bad decisions in his life in terms of marriage opportunities. I don't think he's going to have any children, but we might actually end up giving him some land. At the moment, we probably won't, because if he dies, his brother is going to inherit. No, looks like you're just going to serve in my armies. Yeah, we're really going to go to town on this poor dude. We are going to force him to give up all of his claims, and we will recruit him, and he has very little option but to accept. And then we'll appoint him as a knight, and we'll get him into battle quite shortly. And the reason he'll be going into battle quite shortly is because here is the duchy that we took from him. And one of the reasons that we did that was because, of course, he was planning to kill us. Well, we could have just released him, but like I said, if he dies without children, then that duchy would go to his brother, the current King of England, so we would lose the whole thing. We have 3 of the 5 counties within our kingdom. Lothian itself is part of Sweden, and Dunbar is part of the Kingdom of England. So we seized this in the last episode, and I was trying to think, who could we give it out to? I haven't found any of the next up-and-coming generation, the people that I'm looking towards as potential successors. I'm wondering if it's maybe a result of the very long rule of Ruacón, followed by the destructive rule of Cuilén. I have to go back over Cuilén's episodes and just count the number of important vassals who died during his entire reign. The war for Kent was just an absolute extermination of the flower of Irish knighthood, but even before that, we had a couple of battles up here in Scotland. There was a mini civil war when he came to power, and there was a lot of really important vassals lost there as well. So we're in a scenario where there's nobody kind of coming through at the moment. I did look around, however, and I looked around the area for a suitable vassal who we could give Lothian to, and I have identified such a person. Let me show you them. It's me! I'm the perfect vassal. I'm the one who gets the duchy. I was looking around for somebody to give it to, and then I realised, why don't I just keep it? So what we're going to do is, here is Lancashire, which we also hold. Quite shortly, I'm going to transfer that to... Who's in here now? Because, of course, Cathmall died. Thanks, Cuilén. Cathmall died from his wounds. So, we're down now to Casrasuk. Mac Cathmall. Oh, you're nowhere near the soldier your father, or your grandfather, or your great grandfather, or your great great grandfather. So we're gonna transfer Lancashire to him anyway, because he's the... Actually, what is he? No, we're not. He's just the Duke of Man. On Cahmal's death, the Duke of Man went to... The Duchy of Man went to one of his sons, and the Lancaster went to his older son, and he doesn't like us because he wants Lancaster, I think. Yeah, desires the Earldom of Lancaster, so this is the guy we're going to give it to. So we'll clean up that area a small bit, and we're going to declare war for Lothian. And we're going to try and see if we can actually put together the duchy for the High King. And piss off this dude who actually wants the duchy. But yeah, he's fine. He's fine. It's probably not a great time to do this with us planning a war to drive the last Norse power out of Scotland. It's probably not a great time, as we'll be leading the siege, to think about doing this. Our stress is quite high. We're veering towards level 1, so we're going to put a stop to that by getting hammer drunk. Oh, the shoulders have started slouching forward already. Somebody's been enjoying themselves. Another cup, and my shoulders relax a bit more. This is how I am meant to spend my time. To be sober is to suffer. I feel better already. So we spend 150 prestige, and we lose 28 stress. To the false Ercaid. That's the first time that I've been called that. I have no choice but to accept your conditions for my release. Then who's the real Ercaid? I thought I was the one that was supposed to be drunk. And you brought all this upon yourself by plotting to kill me. Maybe that's why he's plotting to kill me. He's insane, and he thinks that I'm a doppelganger. Well, there he is with his hat on him. He's gone into the armies. He's ranked fairly high up. He's second from the top at the moment. He's already slain somebody in battle. Well, we'll give him some opportunities to redeem himself. I won't say he's persona non grata at the moment. He's spindly. Only gives him -1 prowess of a penalty. He's already a legendary blade master. Actually, yeah, where's he getting his stats from? He's sadistic. He's a spindly drunkard, a legendary blade master, and of course the House of Warriors. So, let's put him and everybody else that we have to use. Go the long way around. We'll go and we'll look at something, actually, first of all, which is the title history. The Offmonzos have lost Sweden. It now belongs to the House of Olli Pekka-Karjarlinen. I've no idea. Dare to be mighty. That's a marketing slogan if I have ever heard one. I have no idea where this family came from all of a sudden. He inherited from his mother. Or that's not his mother. Who are you? It somehow came into some distant branch of the family. But yeah, Sweden just continues to fall apart. I should have kept that window open while we had him. He's at 1,000 soldiers, and he's only achieving that by having 700 mercenaries. They have lost all major alliances. They're under attacks from more people. So we will add to the misery. We will seize the Earldom of Lothian. And thankfully it only costs 80 prestige. Declare war. We have 2 armies raising here. We will send in the one with the High King in command to actually siege down the area. We'll let the other one come up to full capacity. I might just bring it in and have it here waiting in case the Swedes do send forces across, or else we might even begin to send it down south to deal with this region down here. We have a new heir. And also some more knights have arrived, because I did put out a call towards the end of the last episode. And the High King has reached Edinburgh. And the siege begins. We're in a bad old way. Other than the High King, we have no other siege experts. So I've put the other army under Cuilén. Told him to go make himself useful, to march down through some of his brother's land, and if necessary, begin sieging some areas in Schwales. Because if all that the Swedish can mount is 1,000 troops, we should be okay up here to bring this to an end. So we're seeing a bit of a pattern repeat with Ercaid's father, Ruacán. I forget who she was, but she was married to Ruacán and the two preceding High Kings. Now Elizabeth has been married to Cuilén. She had a daughter with Cuilén. I don't think the daughter is actually in line for the thing that I've forgotten. I've forgotten why we've even married this woman, because she is in line for Upper Lorraine. We're going to start a scheme to romance her. What did Cuilén do? Cuilén, I think, did he sing a love ballad? I think, hammered, drunk out of his mind, I think he would try and write a love poem. The candle is burning low when I finally finish my poem. Before I can send it, I give it one last read. That's too blue. That's too blue. That's a man who's been drinking heavily. The waiting is unbearable. The thought of rejection makes me sick to my stomach. Are you sure that's not bad beer? Are you sure? Yeah. When her reply arrives, I tear the seal with shaking hands. While I cannot encourage you, my liege, I am most grateful for your kind words. Yours faithfully, your wife. So the scheme continues. Our sister Una, Countess Una, has died, and we've gained stress. Una was married to the Count of Huntingdonshire. Was it the Count or the Duke? The Earl. Split the difference. So, of course, we managed to force him to accept vassalization when we took Mercia. And now he has returned. Well, I won't say he's returned to England. I don't think he was ever under English control, but he is now. Here is poor old Ulfus. I think he was sealed in a mask in the last episode. He's pretty much our top knight, one of our great knights. 8 kills. Slain in battle, slain. Head ripped, slain. Head ripped, head ripped. Head ripped. Slain in battle. He's killed a member of the Uí Néill family. Gavron Mac Liachnaun. What Liachnaun was that? Well, his grandfather was Green Graffador, so that was one of the various wars that was going on up in Scotland under Cuilén. But here is his daughter and his only child, and here's one of our knights, so I have decided to marry them off in a matrilineal marriage to keep the Ulfus name alive. He's lowborn, so we'll send that proposal. And we should be able to finish the siege of Lothian. We took a few people hostage. Moylon has already reached down here and began sieging. We will bring our army right besides them. We'll be actually passing down the bulk of the English forces. I think, what's his name, Sorkfer has rebelled. I don't know, it's not an independence war. Oh, that's another major problem. He's actually leading a war to depose the King of England. If that had succeeded, then Moylon would have become the king. And if he had been holding on to this province, that would have... His attempt to assassinate me was just so beneficial. Thank you, Moylon. Thank you. It was actually really helpful that you tried to kill me. We've gotten a pop-up that our wife, Dovclovlig, or Dovcovlig, is pregnant. I've always found that one of the harder names to pronounce. Chiefess Ida has joined against us in our war for Lothian. It might be a bit of an issue. She doesn't have all that substantial a force. But all the same, hopefully she won't be able to bring them into the battle to... Never mind. I'd say we're safe enough. I'd say we're safe enough. She only has 700 forces. I won't say only. But, yeah, they'll take us upstairs. I hope she doesn't actually raise them and try and bring them over here. Maybe it's like that time I accepted an invite to war in the far reaches of Byzantium. Do you know what? England isn't doing all that well. Sorkvar has been able to put together 3,500 soldiers. So England is doing a bit of a runaround. They're going to pass us by as we manage to take an area that didn't contribute massively to the war score. I'd say there's going to be a war down on top of us in a few seconds. So on the right we have Natfriach Mac Cuilén, Muelón's younger brother, who nobody wanted Muelón for the kingship of England. And then on the left, I don't know who the hell this is. He's a commander, one of Sorkvar's commanders. We accidentally created a super count by giving him land when he already had plenty of land. So he's given the English a good old baiting. The English, I keep calling them the English. There's very few English or Anglo-Saxons there. The Kingdom of England is actually controlled almost entirely by Irish and Gaelic counts. So poor old Muelón, I wonder what he's thinking about all this, because he's looking over there and it's like, if my brother gets killed, I get the crown. We'll pull him out of here because we're not gonna... The fort level is too damn high. We've an invite to war. So in the last episode, I forgot actually how stressful things were in the last episode. And it's one of the great fears that I have actually, is that Toulouse, powerful European entities, are now allying with Norse regions that are so Norse I can't even pronounce their names. And the idea that Ireland, after all that we have done and achieved, apparently we're still so weak that we are the place that you go when you're looking for an easy target. And if it hadn't been for the fact that we were able to pull in, well, in the end up we won by sieging down their capital, their only county, but we did form an alliance with Bohemia to come and help us. And now Bohemia is calling us into their war for the Polish claim to the kingdom of Pomerania. And we will join the Polish claim. So we are... Who are we fighting against? We're fighting against the King of Poland, and we're fighting for Bohemia. I've no idea... We'll accept. I'm not too sure we can actually go and take part in this battle. We'll see how things go here first of all. We'll get our own affairs in order. And then we will take a look at maybe bringing the armies across and contributing some bit. We didn't have a great experience the last time we were in Europe, in Lothian, and our armies decided to bug out and just not move. That might be a result of the fact that we're continuing on with a save that's now into its, what's this into? Its second patch since this game started, so maybe that was an issue, I'm not too sure. And so the ladders are out. We're changing the light bulbs. That noise isn't actually from the game. My room is on fire. Oh wait, no, it was from the game. Oh, that's handy. Okay. So we've taken some prisoners. Again, we haven't contributed massively to the war score. Where will we send you? Most of these places now have actually been sieged down, so we're not getting... I don't think... Are we getting loot? No, we're not getting loot in any of these places. Somebody came in and sieged all these places down already. Who could have done such a thing? Who could have... Oh, it was me. Well, this war is taking a lot longer than I expected. I think it's telling us that our mercenary contract is expiring. I won't be renewing that. our wife has given us a son. That is a name I have never seen before. We'll give him a good Irish name. Dovdaleha. That's the name of one of our knights from a number of... Oh my god, how many episodes back was that? That's a legendary knight. So possibly we're naming him after a knight from Irish legend in the hopes that he will someday grow up to take up the sword like his father. May you grow to be strong and wise, my son. The ladders are out again. They're going changing the light bulbs. Or painting the walls, I don't know. Our prisoner Helgi just died. Helgi was imprisoned only a few minutes ago. Died in captivity. Poor old Helgi. What does our prisons look like at the moment? I don't want to start sending people out because, of course, it's going to affect our war score. This was somebody who was taken prisoner before this war started. I think she was also involved in the plot to kill me. Or maybe not. We released a child called Bjorn Svarti, because, I mean, come on, you can't. Is that him? No. I'll never forget Bjorn Svarti. So, I think we took her prisoner in the same siege. I think it was actually sieges. We sieged down this area, and now we're going to war. So, we ransomed Bjorn Svarti to this man. There's Sonny. No. Bjorn Svarti just lit up this prison in a way that no other prisoner has. Another region is sieged, and still we're not all that much closer to actually winning. They're actually preparing some raiders to leave. And we're being called into another war. A holy war. What's that? I don't even know where this is a holy war for. Do you know what? We'll accept and we'll check this out later on. We're in a holy war. Our wife has suggested a hunt. I did not hesitate to organize one. And then, as we're on the hunt, we hear the screams of a woman. Probably just a bird. Perhaps it would be wiser to send the page. I am coming for you, my love. So we will go ahead with our attempt to romance the High Queen. Within what must have been a minute but felt like an hour, I reach a clearing. Elizabeth is on the ground before me, dishevelled and weaponless. Opposite her, just about to strike, stands a huge bear. My arrow strikes true and the beast falls to the ground. A bear? Oh man, don't tell me this is this Lost? Was it a polar bear? So she can either become our soulmate or just have a kiss. She'll become our soulmate and we get 750 prestige. Badly needed. Madman's company is gone. So that's left the army down here. I've sent the High King to the northern tip of Schwales to see if he can siege down that place. We're up to 75% war score now. It's ticking up. It's starting to tick up quickly. Another of our wives has become pregnant. So I think we have a small bit of an issue. There's a couple of pop-ups coming through now that weren't coming through a couple of seconds ago. We have a new successor, Eilgol or Eilgal, who had been nominated before in the past. It popped up at the top of the screen, but I didn't actually get the little banner that we have a lifestyle perk. We could go for Soldiers of Fortune pretty much just to push towards absolute control. I think because we have the High King in a few armies, we are going to go for prowess +4 and reduces the risk of commanding armies, just in case anything ever goes wrong on any of the battles that he finds himself in, drunk to the high heavens. The Raiders are coming back. They have nowhere to go. There's only one province for them to land in, so they decided to attack the High King and his brand new +4 prowess and decreased risk from leading armies. You fools, you silly fools. Our nephew has created a cadet branch. He hates us. He hates us a lot. We're now up to 91% war score. It looks like we'll have to finish sieging down that region. And we're slicing through. We have less than 2 weeks. And we should be in a position to bring this to an end. More cadet branches. Even more cadet branches. You can't have enough cadet branches. Will anyone be actually of the house Uí Néill anymore? And a different Eilgal has become the successor, and he is a member of the Flann. And not alone is that the family that rules in Connacht, it also rules in Munster and Ulster. Other than Leinster and the part that belongs to the High King, the Flann have basically taken over all of Ireland. And I think we might actually have to bring to an end our blockade on a member of the Flann ruling. Before we worry about things like that, we will bring this war to an end. 2 years to conquer a single county. We enforce our demands to the abhorrent High King Ercaid. Stop it. Stop it. So be it. It's a terror. We have driven the Norse out of Scotland, but there's that one tiny, there's 2 tiny provinces actually. Dunbar is also in Scotland, and as is that region. I forget where it is. But if it wasn't for that, we'd actually have complete control over Scotland for the first time ever. All of the counties of Scotland would belong to the Kingdom of Scotland. A full restoration of the kingdom. But yeah, we've now managed to drive all of the Norse powers out of Scotland for the first time since before the game began. And now all that remains is Wales. I think that's a problem for another day though. Let's go and check these wars on the continent. The first war is Poland fighting for a substantial chunk of northern Bohemia. Well, I don't know, is it right to call it Northern Bohemia, considering that this is also Bohemia, and Bohemia, and Bohemia, and Bohemia. Bohemia? Bohemia. Bohemia. So, yeah, they want to... look, oh, poor old Estonia. It's still there. It's been, I won't say decimated, but yeah, no, it's been decimated. Estonia held considerable land in this region at one point in time. So it's basically Poland and Estonia. And Kiev. Do you know what? 6,000 troops? He's not doing great in terms of allies. I thought he had substantially more. And if we become involved in a war, maybe this is the one that we will become involved in because it's a bit closer to home. We can teleport our troops across into Lothian and take them across into East Francia. It's fighting for a chunk of the part that Poland isn't fighting for. So basically you're looking at the complete and utter partition of Bohemia is what is being attempted at the moment. I didn't even realize that this little island here is actually part of our kingdom. De Hybert captured it at some stage. I'm going to move him up there. I don't think he'll regroup any troops. I'm raising, I think possibly 1 is how many people we're going to get here. And what I might actually do is stand them down. And because I think we have some knights that we can appoint. But here is the army under Moellon. I'm going to bring them down and where's Moellon? Where's Moellon? We'll appoint Eilgal as the commander of this army just for now. Ah, well, if we zone out, we can see that Cheshire is independent. And if Moelon is gone, well then that obviously means he has been made the king of... who are you? You're not Moelon. I have no idea what's going on here. We'll check the title history. It does indeed look like Moelon's brother was forced to abdicate. Where's he gone to now? He's a marshal for High Chieftain Moelon. Was he forced to abdicate everything, including his duchies, which went to Moelon, who is now the High Chief of Kent? Ah, lads. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you. This has turned into a mess. Fine, Moelon. Fine. I don't care. Go away off. I don't need you. Look, we've got Owen. Owen's just slightly behind you. He's a 20 and he's no blade master at all, and he's not spindly either. We have Owen and we got Donnacha and Federigo. We don't need you. Go away off and be a duke in some foreign kingdom. I was actually going to have the troops transport out by sea, but then I realised that we'll probably need to split them here first of all to sort out the knights evenly between the two armies and then bring them across. We have another son. More alliances. Now the war that we're thinking of bringing them into, they're doing poorly. They're not doing great, so I'm not too sure what can be done here. We've received a pop-up that we have established an alliance with our wife. And that is because her mother has died from her wounds. Duchess Gazilia. I wonder if these are the wounds that she received a considerable time ago in the Battle of Kent, or the War for Kent, where she held off, was it the Kentish army, long enough that allowed our forces, well, when I say our forces, I think it was King Popo II's forces, to come in and save the battle. But she has died. Now, she was married to Cuilén. We were hoping to have a son that would have taken the throne now. Instead, Cuilén also married Elizabeth, who we're now married to, and they had a daughter together, who is indeed, if we check, next in line for the crown. So a member of the Green Grafadorachta will at least sit on the throne in Upper Lorraine if Ercaid doesn't manage to have a child with Elizabeth, who is our wife and a soulmate, and has 931 troops. The armies are split. We're sending them out to sea. It's going to cost 42 gold. We'd better check if we can make that back somehow. I think it's fair to say that this is the most populated that our prison has ever been. We have 10 prisoners taken in the last conflict. None of them are military figures, none of them are of any tremendous value from the point of view of recruiting them to the army. I don't think any of them are eligible. I've never done this before. We're going to click on the mass ransom button. And we can ransom 3 characters. Sure. From that mass ransom alone, I think we have gained 85 gold, which is fantastic. We're being dragged into another war. I was wondering when we would see something like this. Our wife, who we have just formed an alliance with, has called us into an alliance against the tyranny of the Queen of Lothian, from what I can understand. No, it's a countess is rebelling against our High Queen. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We'll accept that. Looks like we're going to have to... That's going to take precedence. So we're going to be landing there first. With the way this war score is going, I think our alliance with Bohemia isn't going to last much longer. or be of use for much longer. If all goes well, we should be in a position to arrive in northern Lothian, march down, help our wife, and then just head east into West Franconia. And our forces have started to arrive. But that is fantastic news. Our wife is pregnant, and she has also dealt with the main force, driven them out of their county. I think they are coming to siege Trier. So we're gonna come in. We're gonna hit that army, and we're probably actually going to send the High King's army down to siege this area because she's having problems with the 4th level. Oh, they know we're coming for them. They know we're coming for them. I don't know, have we established another alliance? No, we haven't. That's the younger daughter of the Count of Metz. Somebody that Cuilén got on very well with. I don't think it was the current Count of Metz, but a previous count that Cuilén got on very well with when Elizabeth's mother invited Cuilén to a party at Trier. But Cuilén was engaged to, I think it's Waldrada, and now we've married her to cement about 1,000 troops. So Metz has actually been a great help to us on a number of occasions. 2 years ago, you promised to aid me in the Polish claim on the Kingdom of Pomerania, yet so far you have done nothing to support me in this endeavour. What is the point of our alliance if you never to even lift a finger to help me? If you never to even lift a finger, I will send my troops to your aid immediately. This chest of gold should make up for my absence. I apologize. I should not have claimed that I would help. We're trying to help. I was in the middle of a war. I would pay him 75 quid. I do not earn any war contribution within 12 months. If I do not earn war contribution within 12 months, I will lose a level of fame. We're not going to be able to earn anything in that war. Because we're, like I said, we're going to start here. We're going to go into West Francia in a couple of minutes. And that's a different war to this war. So we will send him some gold and tell him to shut up. Your ankles are the life-giving sun of my world. I really want to smooch you. I think I'm going to have to blur this out, or YouTube's going to shut me down if I read any more of this. So a 67-year-old woman visiting our court has sent us some letters. You flatter me, my lady. No. One of our prisoners has died. I don't think we can actually ransom out any more of them. What's after happening here? Why? We were at war with this area. I was going to actually come in and start attacking. Oh, we're still at war with it. Thank God. Okay, I was wondering what was going on there. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to bring our army in here and start sieging here. God, look at this absolute mess. Very few of the prisoners, actually none of the prisoners that we have left can be ransomed out. So we're going to have to release them one way or another. Look at this mess that the Polish have gotten themselves into. Not the Polish, Bohemia. What the hell can we do over here? For now, we can ignore the problem. Try and end this siege down here. Maybe even siege a couple of places belonging to one of the armies that are fighting against them. I'm trying to see what's going on up here. I think Bohemia has been hit by two rather large armies. We'll see if we can finish the siege to bring our wife's war to an end. I think actually under the new patch rules, our wife continues to be the leader because she started the raid. Or she started the siege. So she is still the siege leader, or her armies are leading the siege. That siege seems to have succeeded, and we didn't get any pop-ups about it, so, is that our wife's war? Yeah, up to 100% now, so she should be happy with that. And our wife has given us a daughter. Yay. That's what we wanted. May you grow to be strong and wise, my son, daughter, Christina. Gwent is under siege by the Countess that has also just surrendered, so be it. So I don't think it's under siege anymore. Why were we being talked about Gwent? After my army sets up camp, I hear a commotion. Donica, I think he's one of the new knights, and Duke Ercaid are arguing. I can either go back to my tent and have a drink, lose some prestige and stress. That's the first time I'm ever actually going to do that. Let them fight away, because we are a bit stressed out. Do not fear, the High King is here with his onagers. We see a pop-up here. Giles' son, I married him off to somebody. Just to keep the family name going. So, Giles fills Giles. Named his son after himself. We see some forces moving. I wonder if they're coming towards me. That's 5,000 troops. Do we need to run away? I think we do. I think we do. For now, we're going to see if we can run back to Irish Lothian. I thought my forces had stopped moving again. Maybe recoup some losses. If we've done nothing else, we've actually pulled a substantial chunk of their army away from the main battle. Another of our wives is pregnant. They're turning around and running away. I think I have gotten another martial lifestyle perk. Fantastic. It would have been great to have this perk a few minutes ago when we were romancing our wife, but we will go for knight effectiveness instead, 75%. It'll be needed, especially if we actually get hit by any of the those large armies that are wandering around the place. And of course I forgot about this, because our primary wife has been elevated to the Duchess of Lothian. She's no longer in our court, so we're going to have to appoint a new primary wife. I'm mainly doing this because of her high diplomacy, and I think I will set her, once this pops back up, I will set her to, she's currently assisting with intrigue. Our spymaster likes us again, so I think I might just put her back to whatever the default position is. Oh, things just keep going from bad to worse for this guy. There is now an uprising against him. Sure, while we're in the region, we'll do what we can. I've pulled the army back here. I have gotten a grand total of 87 new troops. Oh yeah. We'll hold out here for maybe a month and just see if we actually get any reinforcements. I think we're reinforced capacity now. And we start our trip back with, I think, 4,400 troops. We're going to try and siege down their capital. Which of these two armies actually has the siege equipment? We might put this army here. Okay, bring yeah, we might try and bring him around. Absolutely scandalous. Flann Sinna, a namesake of two of the great kings of this dynasty, carrying on like this. Disgraceful. Do I care? I lose a level of devotion. Do you know what? I don't think that we're going to be all that devoted. I actually think that Ercaid is probably going to be about as devoted to God as Flann Sinna was. There's no way around it. Looks like we're getting that penalty one way or another. We're going to try and bring this army around and engage in a kind of a holding action here in case anybody comes in against us. If I can catch them. No, can you come that way? Take the ever so slightly longer route. Our wife has given birth to a son, but she doesn't want to hold him. Doesn't the animation usually have her holding the baby? Or am I wrong? Moil on Fed. Moil on Fed. What else have we got? Good, we'll go with a good Irish name. Cuilén. Cuilén? Yeah. Dovcain. Imcaid. Ochaid. Conmach. Brutor. That's not how you pronounce it, but that's what it sounds like to me. Moil Brazil. Sure. May you grow to be strong and wise, my son. Duke Anamcaid, who we saw in a fight recently with Donica. He's been hosting our Chancellor, Scanlon. And look, he likes me. No, it's a 59. He's down to a 29. That's not too bad. That's progress in this kingdom. That's progress. Instead of sending them to the east for a holding action, I've instead sent them to the west to siege down another city or another fort. This is disastrous. Somebody has come to us to tell us that our Chancellor, Duke Scanlon, has insulted them gravely. He had the audacity to name them a loathsome churl in front of their court. That is absolutely unacceptable. This man he's demanding satisfaction, as is his right. Whatever it takes to make this well again. Pay him money. Oh, I don't like paying money, but I mean, this is an unacceptable crime that Scanlon has committed. Scanlon would plead for your forgiveness publicly. I think, yes, Scanlon should be made to beg for this man. Ha! Good for Scanlon. That's who is this man anyway? This is the King of Iceland. This is the guy who aided the Norse and Toulouse in the last war that nearly ended with us subjugated. You are a loathsome churl. Good for Scanlon. Get out of my sight. If at first you don't succeed, keep hammering away. Our wife, the High Queen, is pregnant again. We have managed to siege someplace. And we've lost war score. Whoa, a lot of stuff is happening. What I have started to do, I'll pause quickly. I've started to pin all of my primary knights, all of the great knights of the kingdom. And here is Ulfus, 64 years of age. We married off his daughter, I think, at the start of this episode to keep his name alive. And what a happy life of beheading people he had. Look at all the heads he ripped. So many heads. Predominantly insular Christian. A couple of Catholics. Waldensian. French, Italian, Cumbrian, Irish, Bavarian, Anglo-Saxon. So many heads. So many heads ripped in a single lifetime. And Ulfus. Look at that. I didn't even know the numbers could go that high. Legendary Blade Master. Base 20. Base prowess 20. My God, truly one of the great knights of the kingdom has passed away of old age. From our previous war, I've ransomed out everybody that I can for money. Anybody that we can't ransom, I've forced them to convert, and I've just sent them on their way, except for this individual. 22. No great stats or anything. I think her husband was actually killed in the siege in which she was captured. Yeah, she's been in prison for 3 years. So what we're going to do instead with her is we are going to demand her conversion and recruit her and probably marry her off to one of our knights. And sure, who better than Owen? I think he's our top knight now that poor old Ulfus has died. We'll send that proposal. He is indeed. So what an unfortunate life it has been for this woman so far to come upon our kingdom. We're in a bit of a problem here. We're sieging parts here, and this is the war score. At the moment, we've contributed 100% of the war score. It's telling us that the attackers have 4,300 troops. We'd be in a position just about to go in against them. However, if we come in here, I think this is their army. It is indeed. And we can see that they actually have 3 armies of about 1,600 each. So that's a bit beyond. That's a bit rich for my blood. So I'm not entirely too sure what we're going to do. Here's that army that, if I'm right, that declared war on us. Are they the guys that declared war on us? I think so. No, maybe not. I think they were actually further over here. They didn't declare war on us, but they joined in Sweden. Sweden called them into the war. I recognize the antler. If that is an antler. Is that an antler? Antler or a branch. Maybe siege down 1 or 2 more areas and try to take out the peasant uprising, maybe? I think we just, while we're allowed to, we siege as much money from this area as we can. I think that's really all we can do. With this army here to the north, what we might do, we actually see that they're sending their forces across. Again, we're really not contributing to the war score in any big way. They're sending across 4,900 troops. They're sending across 4,900 troops. What do we want to do? Do we want to run or do we want to try and take them on? Because again, what do we have at our max? We have... My apologies, I had to go and get a calculator and try to figure out how many troops we had. I still don't actually know. But what I'm doing is I'm going to see if I can pull them into the mountains and force the West Frankish, or the West Franconian forces to engage us there. So I think we have a total of 4,100 against 4,900, and I think if we can get them into the mountains, we might have an advantage over them. But before that, 2 vassals are fighting over, I don't know, piece of chicken or something? I don't know. I wasn't listening. There's Dunadach of de Hybert, and there is the guy, he's our vassal. He doesn't like us because we have Lothian and he doesn't. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Whatever. So, if we could get these guys to engage us here in the mountains, it would be absolutely fantastic. There's probably going to be a bit of an attrition penalty if we carry everyone in there. There is a... that's our only problem, is the supply limit. So what we might do is... No, okay, they're gone. They're not. They don't want to fight us. Running scared. Let's see if we can siege down a few more places. I don't even think this is a siegeable area. It is. Everywhere is siegeable if you try hard enough. Like I said, if at first you don't succeed. That's a terrible thing to say. Poor Elizabeth. All that she's been through. She's given the family 2 daughters, the eldest of which would have inherited for House Grian Grafadorachta, but she has now given us another son. It's the Irish for Joseph. I think it's Iosif. May you grow to be strong and wise. Let's take a look at him. And if I am right, he is now the heir to the Duchy of Lorraine, Trier, and that place that rebelled against our wife at the start of this episode. He's a bit slow, but he could well one day serve as a High King and unite these regions, which would be awesome. Our forces are getting to a stage where we wouldn't be able to survive an attack, so I think we are pretty much accepting that we're just sieging down these regions now. We're screaming over at the guy in Bohemia that we're helping. We are helping. Oh, we're taking a bishop hostage. Yeah, we're contributing nothing to the actual war score because they just have so many places sieged that that we can't do anything. I hope we get to ransom back all these people. Do you know what? Because it's not affecting the war score, I should start ransoming them now in case they're liberated from jail when this war ends. So we ransomed out the bishop and somebody else. We're going to keep hold of the wife of the duke of this region. And as you can see, it hasn't affected the war score. Oh, the Polish claim is now up to 100%. So we've lost that war. So be it. Well, we. And what's going on here now? Oh wow, we've gone to a 48% war score somehow. And another war has ended because it's invalid. Some allies have started coming in now. Possibly we're going to turn this battle. For our martial perk, again, I would like to continue down this route, get the mercenary hire cost. Isn't going to be tremendously valuable to us at the moment, so we will go for the never back down. Friendly fatal casualties down 20%. And advantage of 5 again, if it happens that we end up in a war, or if we end up being engaged by any forces. If we zoom out, we can see that Poland has swallowed a chunk of Bohemia. I was just about to say that something looks to have gone wrong. Some kind of a war has broken out. What is it? It is a war against the tyranny of the current king. So there's an attempt to overthrow him. We would accept. And we can actually see... No, we can't. I thought there was a substantial decrease to Frankfurt's armies. There isn't. They're still hanging around there. Bohemia... No, it's Poland. Is Poland now allied to us? It's entirely possible that Poland has actually now came in on the side of the king. We're just going to keep our heads down and say nothing. We're not fighting in this war for Bohemia anymore because the region that West Francia or West Franconia or whoever was trying to take is now under Polish control. We're now allied in that war with the Poles. So let's just keep quiet. And let's just keep raiding. And let's just shh. Some of the episodes of recent have been getting rather long, so I'm going to call this one an end here, even though we don't have a kind of a coherent end to the episode. We're still engaged in... I don't know where the hell we are. We're in the middle of Europe. We actually didn't check. We just saw a fire in the distance of cities burning, and we marched towards it and contributed. We don't know what we're doing here. Nobody stopped us. A couple of people, it looked like they were going to stop us, but then they turned around and went away, so... Maybe they were just coming to tell us everything's okay, keep sieging. I don't know. So, let's not be presumptuous and come to the conclusion that we're doing anything wrong. I mean, all this money is just lying around. Okay, it's behind walls, but, you know, it's a treasure hunt. It's a treasure hunt. So here you can see that we have been dragged in on the side of the Polish. I won't say dragged in, but this was a holy war that had started against Bohemia and its holdings. Poland took that entire region first of all, so now Poland finds itself defending against a holy war that started 5 years ago. And we have contributed 100% war score. Yeah, it's at 48% war score. I'm hoping the Polish will just defeat the armies of the people we're fighting against. I don't even know who. It's West Franconia. is the main ally, and Mersenberg, I think, or Merseburg. Yeah, you can tell how absolutely interested I am by this. Our only problem now, of course, is that Bohemia is no longer a power capable of assisting us, and we will need to get some allies to make sure that Iceland and that the couple of powers off our coast don't get any ideas about trying to subjugate us again. It's been a chaotic episode from the point of view of England. I had plans as to what we were going to do there. We still haven't gone into the feudal age, and I can't until we deal with England. I'd hoped to bring this war to an end, but I also need probably 1,500 gold. So I was thinking that we were going to be doing some raiding at some point in time, and sure, hey, look, while we can just conquer this region, why not take all the gold that we can? I've become slightly distracted there, because I am almost certain that's not how you spell Byzantium. Let's just... Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next one.